Norton. I'm the president of Tuskegee University Enactus, a social entrepreneurship organization at Tuskegee University. I'd like to welcome you to the first Enactus Shark Tank. I'd like to thank all the contestants for coming. We are going to be quick and not waste everybody's time, and we'll start with the first contestant, Alterations by Jay.
Hello, my name is Jordan Miller. I am a junior sales and marketing major hailing from Jacksonville, Florida, and I am the CEO and founder of Alterations by Jay. So a little bit about myself. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I learned to sew when I was 15. I started off with dressmaking, so I was making custom items for myself and my sisters, and then once I got to college, I wanted to find a happy way to blend dressmaking and making a profit plus managing my time. So I started off with alterations. And I started this company, or this business, in September of 2017. So my mission is to offer students at Tuskegee University affordable, dependable, and local alteration services. So why I am doing so well is because there has been a demand for more tailored fitting and appropriately fitting clothing, especially in the business world. As a business student, you want to make sure you have appropriately fitting suits and jackets so you look presentable to your employer. And there has been a trend of more slimmer fitting clothing. As you can see, in the past there's been more of a looser fitting pant and blazer, just to have that power look. But now, as millennials, we have migrated more towards a slimmer fitting pant and jacket. Also, it's the everyday wear and tear that happens on clothing items that you may love that my business succeeds, because people in MCP, so the Marching Crimson Pipers, always have rips and tears happening at on their clothing, and they bring it to me, and I can fix it for them at an affordable and a reasonable rate. So as you can see, this is some of the work I've done, and then if you look to your right, you'll see my basic pricing list. This is how I gauge how much I'm pricing my customers, because I want to make sure I'm giving everyone a fair rate. Everything pretty much starts at $10 and goes up from there, because no article of clothing is exactly the same, and everyone is customized to different people. So this is just a good gauge on where I can help you and how you can help my business. So over the past 2 months, my business has had an amazing growth rate. So in September, I had 21 customers, and I made $303.50. And then in the month of October, I had 33 customers, and I made $457. The way I price, or the way I keep up with my customers, is I have a receipt book, and I make sure I keep a total and a transaction gauge on how much or how many people I'm helping and how much they pay me at the time. So my goals for the next 6 months, I want to build a stronger portfolio. Right now I'm on Instagram and I have pictures I take on my iPhone, but I would really love to have more of a professional looking portfolio on my social media accounts. Future events that are going to be happening on campus where I know my revenue will be increasing, like SGA Week and other things of that nature, where students will be buying things online and bringing them to me if it doesn't fit or whatnot. So I want to be prepared for the next 6 months and that happening. And then increasing my sales, of course. I know as a small business, I'm going to have the ups and downs, but I want to make sure I keep a steady growth. And then possibly investing into a serger, because a serger is something, it's a machine that cuts and sews at the same time, and it will provide me more of a faster and a more professional looking cut and finish on my products. So why I would love an Enactus Shark Tank to help me is because I want to have increased resources. I know as a student I've been going into going into my own pocketbook and getting resources like threads and needles, but I would love to have some funding behind that. And then advertisement, so when I go to networking events like the Small Business Saturday, I would love to have a lovely banner or something to make my business look more legitimate and professional. And then having future developments, like a photo booth area in my house where I have cohesive backgrounds, so when I'm taking my before and after pictures, I have more of a finished look to it. And then also investing into that sewing machine and that serger for the professional looking finish on my garments. Any questions? Well, thank you. My name is Jordan Miller from Alterations by Jay. Thank you for having me.
All right, hello, how's everybody doing today? All right, my name is Alex Baker. I'm a junior animal science major. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I have a passion just for helping any problem that I see in the world, whether or not it relates to animals or not. My idea was to create a business called Heirloom Burial, where our mission would be continuing the legacy of your loved ones and restoring the environment all at the same time. And before I get into explaining my business, this is how Earth looks when it's untouched by man. As you can see, there's plenty of trees, there's clean air because the trees are taking in the carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen. You see it's self-sustaining, the animals don't have to go anywhere else to get food, shelter, water, any of that. And then this is nature when man usually touches it. Like when we have to build things, man comes through, they tear down all the trees, so that makes the air quality go down. There's loss of animal life, so the habitat's not there how it was. And it's just a permanent destruction of the environment because once you build something there, the trees no longer grow back and the animals can't come back because now men are there occupying it. Right here is a picture of Chattanooga National Cemetery, and as you can see, there's like no trees, and it's just a bunch of graves. As you can see, like there's no animals, no wildlife, nothing there. So that's not really sustainable when you look at it for a future reference because people die every day, people are going to continue to die. So you're going to have to constantly repeat the process of clearing the area and putting bodies there. So that's not sustainable. So annually, there's a bunch of materials that go into the ground based off of our modern day conventional burial methods. Like as you can see up here, for example, at the bottom, there's 820,000 gallons worth of embalming fluid going into the ground. For example, like formaldehyde is the main embalming fluid, and that's very hazardous to health. Like as a carcinogen, it seeps into the soil and ruins the life in the soil and the environment around it. There's millions of tons of like steel, metals, different types of woods all in the ground, and these go in there annually, so it's repeating year after year. As you can see, a standard burial, this is a visual just to see. Standard burial, you have the coffin in the ground, it's a bigger space. You put it at least usually 6 feet, 6 feet deep, and you surround the coffin in concrete, and then the coffin's inside the concrete vault. So that's preventing any microbes, bugs, or any little things get in there and properly decompose the body. So the natural cycle of decomposition is broken up because of this process. A natural burial is a shallower depth. It's made out of natural biodegradable material, so the coffin is going to degrade, the body will degrade how it should. You still have a proper funeral and everything, so it's not taken away from that aspect, but it allows the plant life around it to still continue to grow and flourish. You get the nutrients from the bodies and the coffins that you use for those type of burials. And so the effects it has on the earth, as mentioned earlier, the formaldehyde, it's a known carcinogen. It has harmful effects on everybody who comes in contact with it, from the mortuary workers to the people who touch the bodies to the plants and animals in the ground and everything. So that affects everybody from the little microbes that you can't see to the people working with the bodies. Also, it causes a chain reaction of destruction on the whole ecosystem, like the microbes will die, so then the little bugs that feed on the microbes, they'll die, and then so on, and keep carrying up the food chain until eventually the one at the top can't even survive because everything else below it has died. The microbial population necessary for decomposing the animals, those are unable to do their job because the chemicals that they use for embalming the bodies, they kill the microbes. So the ones that are left aren't even able to do their own job because the chemicals prevent them from decomposing the material that they need. And also, every conventional burial cemetery, how I look at it, is just a plot of just ecosystem that's been destroyed and just devoid of life. Because the process, as I mentioned earlier, is just going to continue of tearing down trees and rebuilding over and over again. So here, as you can see, that's just like a visual just of the little things that matter in life and how every single one is affected by even the one at the bottom, from the predators at the top to the little microscopic things you can't see. And what we'll solve with my company is we'll increase soil quality. So they'll reduce the levels of harmful chemicals that go into the soil from the embalming process, and it'll reduce the amount of non-biodegradable materials going into the ground. The air pollution will increase because since there's more trees being planted, they can swap out the bad things in the air for the oxygen that we need to survive. Land usability also is an issue that can be increased as well, because usually cemeteries, you go to a cemetery when there's a funeral, or if you're trying to just go to just pay your respects to somebody you know that passed away. So usually you don't go there for any other time of the year. My idea would create cemeteries that are also able to double as parks and walking trails, because it's a forest that you're basically creating. Each body you bury, you're planting trees and plants on top of it. It's growing it. So people can go on hikes, they can go through there just to visit, look at people, pay their respects, all that. Also, sustainability issue is going to solve that problem because our current conventional burial practices aren't really sustainable. Like, it's just going to keep going until eventually you're going to hit that end result of running out of room. So our services will be the heirloom tree burial. That will come with a biodegradable casket. You will get your choice of plants or plant that you want planted around your loved one. It'll be a shallow burial, so that'll cut costs on man labor, having to dig a shallower hole to put the body and coffin in. And also you get to choose your burial location for that. And then the heirloom ashes burial is like a special mix you get to add to your loved one's cremated ashes, because normally you can't put those in the soil because the sodium and pH levels will increase and kill the plant life around it. So there will be a special mix that will make it to where you can still spread them out, put them in the ground, and the plants will still be able to grow and flourish. And our other services will be our heirloom habitat restoration burial, which you get to either choose the biodegradable casket or have your loved one cremated and put their ashes through underneath the plants. But also, this will be in cooperation with wildlife experts and environmentalists who will be able to strategically place trees and plants that they know are native but aren't there anymore due to humans coming in and destroying the environment. And the heirloom grassland ashes release will be about the same concept, but it's people who just want to release their family's ashes, just to let them go. Because some people like that wish to just let their ashes be released into the wild, into the air. And this will allow the ashes to be seen as they're being released. It'll make them lighter and also provide nutrients for feeding the plants for the grassland that you put it in. And then a custom placard will come with each option, which is, you can put whatever you want. You can put pictures, you can put memorable quotes, all that, however you would like. And that's like an example of the customizable placard that they'll be able to choose from. They can add whatever they would like to it to honor their loved one. And people can just come by, they're walking through and just read about this person's life, just a little insight into their life. And why choose us? Well, we provide families with the opportunity to bury their loved one in a way that allows their legacy to keep on going, as well as, providing life to our planet. Also, our idea is innovative and can be applied and tailored to suit various climates, regions, and environments. So you can do this in rural areas, or you can do this even in cities where there's less space. And also, we provide a sustainable option to the current practices of the funeral industry. And our ideas allow cemeteries to become places that you not only visit when you're sad, but act as useful places to exercise as well as take a stroll down memory lane. And what I'll do with the prize money, I will fund a crowdfunding campaign, which is potentially get more backers and support so I can implement this into action how I would like. And I'll also put money towards research to figure out the most environmental friendly materials into making these coffins that are biodegradable, as well as provide nutrients to the environment. And that is the end of my slide. Any questions? Oh, yes. No, I haven't got the cost yet for that. But it would be, I do know that, I don't have the exact numbers, but I know it's like conventional coffins nowadays, those can range from the really cheap ones that you can find online, those are $500 to tens of thousands of dollars for other coffins depending on the material they're made out of. But these will be made out of like cheaper materials, so like that are biodegradable, like wicker, for example. And I know you can get wicker pretty cheap, so that's an example of that. Any other questions?
I was going to say, have you talked to anybody that maybe presents land development?
No, I haven't yet. This is just an idea that I have, and I haven't really implemented yet. All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jalen Goodman, and I am a finance major from Dothan, Alabama, and I'm a junior. And my presentation is financial funding for entrepreneurial ventures. I'm going to start off by saying that Tuskegee taught me. I am fully invested in the Tuskegee trajectory. I have no other college experience, therefore I have had the best experience in my personal opinion. I view myself as a prime example of the Tuskegee gentleman, and I have absorbed the cultural knowledge that HBCUs gives for their students. Why should I be here, or why I came here? I am current, actually, sorry, this is not the fully edited one. Well, I'll just go ahead, I'm sorry. Well, I am actually here to get financial funding for my entrepreneurial ventures. I am young, motivated, and I am hungry for success. And I'm actually looking for angel investors, which is whom you would be categorized as. My entrepreneurial pursuits. I have dreams of establishing my own music label, actually. The name of the music label would be called Modern Mansa Productions. I got the name from reading a book called Black Genesis. And Black Genesis depicted the successes and the trials and tribulations that a person in history named Mansa Musa. He was a very, 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 very wealthy African king, actually one of the most wealthiest individuals to come across historic history. Also, I have dreams of aspiring both as a voice and a physical actor. As you can see with the Facebook posts, these are some of the posts that I get from a call casting agency in Atlanta, where I submit my information, I submit current photos, and I simply drive over there and I am an extra. This is me building my acting portfolio, as you can see. And also I want to establish my own personal brand. Right now the brand is called Alpha Pack. It's not in reference to any other organization, it is original. Back home, me and my, I guess a good word would be called entourage. We are very successful. It's about 8 or 9 of us. All of us are either in the military or pursuing a higher education at an HBCU institution. So we would like to consider ourselves as alphas in the society of the world because we have the potential to actually visit the world. And a couple of my partners, they're Marines, and they have gone overseas and they have actually expressed to me what a black man is in the world. We are essentially a rare species. Most of us are actually more garnered within the South region, so like the Atlanta, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi area. And also, I would like to start my own YouTube personality. My purpose for success. My whole life, I have always loved music. And I'd like to make music to make a better image for the black man. As we can see in today's music, most people of my demographic are depicted as thug, gangster, street life mentality. But me, I will be conveying a sophistication, educated, spiritually endowed, and really strong, driven, and motivated individual. And I want to promote Black-owned business. I am driven through financial and generational wealth. Through my research, I have determined that a job doesn't bring wealth, a business brings wealth. And wealth can be transferred into generational wealth if it's put in the right domains. So like investing, stocks, bonds. That's why I chose my major, so I could be able to research all this information. Also, I would like to be able to spread the love of Jesus Christ through my music and be able to touch a few people's souls along the way. I am also seeking residual incomes and revenue streams that will automatically increase my net worth. The quote at the bottom is actually no publicly known person, but he's one of my professors. Entrepreneurs have to have a large threshold of pain. George L. Edwards. I'm a Black man from the South. I actually am from Dothan, Alabama. If people don't know where that is, it is a region of the South where the largest cotton fields are housed. So, and if you, yeah, my family history is quite obvious. Thank you. My business plan. My church leader, she gave me the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. This is what I live by. This is how I stay on my game, and this is how I go through my business professional life. As I progressed in my education in school, I am also, during the day, I'm doing my classwork. I do my homework, and then when I go home at night, I am perfecting my craft, finding my sound essentially. Using a demo program called Fruity Loops, I produce, songwrite, and I want to be a business owner. What my overall plan is, utilizing shock value. I am an individual. I have a lot of face-to-face contact with multiple people all over the world. In fact, I have a direct contact with a man named Johannes Ewens. He's from South Africa. And I'm not associated on Instagram and Twitter. So my objective is to use that shock value. For my very first 2 posts, I would release an EP of 3 songs, and then weeks later, following this, I would release a full album, and the album name would be called Modern Manson, hence the name Modern Manson Productions. This is how I would actually distribute my music. There are 2 things, CD Baby and TuneCore. I'm going to go with TuneCore, but essentially what these distribution avenues allow is for independent artists to get their content on digital sales. And can you go to the next slide, please? Digital sales, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc. This is instant online streaming. What these companies have done is actually mimic the same method of the Netflix business platform, where especially college students, hypothetically with Apple Music, you would pay $5 a month and you have access to as much music as you want. So I'm thinking, and the way it works, having a lot of friends also in the independent artistry, they have, it's just a very lucrative business. That's the best way I can describe that. This is my professional experience. Like, I've spent years in my church's choir that's owned by my grandfather, Living Water Church of God in Christ. During my tenure in the choir, I also played the drums, and I was a keyboard player or piano player. Currently, I am taking classes on Tuskegee's campus where I'm being introduced to music theory and piano methodology. I have also done my own personal business ventures with life insurance, Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance. My uncle, he actually started one of the first offices in the South. And my purpose of doing the life insurance sales is so I can develop an entrepreneurial mindset. Be proactive, be a go-getter. Because the way the business works is you're a salesman. And if you don't get up and sell, you don't eat. I have also, like I stated earlier in the presentation, I have performed in Atlanta doing extra work for popular filming sites. I actually intend on collaborating with other producers to help build me out. There's actually a video, as you can see. You go to the meet thing? Or just click the, thank you. Okay, well, this is me. This is Johannes' Snapchat. This is what he eats on Friday. Me, I was eating in the calf. But he's very successful. He's early in his career, but he's also very successful, and he intends on being a personal guide to help me through the business itself. And this man to the right, his name is Jimmy Watford. I met Jimmy Watford when I was in high school. He is a public figure, a business owner, and a producer. This is not just some regular picture off Google. This is like a picture that I have on my phone. And he has helped me to better perfect my craft, as you can see. Now, tools would I need to actually start the official business? As I said, I was using Fruity Loops. It is a demo. But Logic Pro is a software system that would allow me to be able to make content and put it into a situation where it can be put out into sales. So I can transfer that content from my computer into Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, etc. Pro Tools. Pro Tools is a software for the voice editing. So like for my voice acting career, it would be very useful, and it also would be used for lining the vocals with the beats. So Logic Pro makes the beat, Pro Tools makes put the vocals together. And also I would need a keyboard that would cost $100, and a microphone called the Blue Yeti, and that's really all I need. It would be $598.98 before tax and $652.88 after tax. In today's world, it's actually a lot easier to become an independent artist than it is to get a deal, and it's also much more lucrative for the individual. It's harder, much, much harder, but the reward equals the work that's put in. I would have no middleman. This would be me, my genuine music, unfiltered by the industry's push for the mainstream content. Over here, start a label, run it, sign yourself. That's a major key. That's a quote by Nas, if anybody listens to Nas. Some examples of what I mean would be Chance the Rapper, and this individual over here, his name is actually Manifest. His name is Robert. He is from Ohio, and this is him performing in Japan. Average, everyday individual. He has his own personal job, but he also is an independent artist on the side. Next slide, please. And, okay. Yeah, this wasn't the finish. I'm sorry. Well, that's the end of the presentation, but what I was going to say at the end was thank you for your time, and there was going to be a picture of the actual Shark Tank. Thank you.
Hello everybody, how you doing? My name is Carl Morgan, founder and creator at Think Inc. LLC, where your trash is our treasure. Next slide. We're a zero waste recycling company. I graduated from Tuskegee University with a degree in architecture, and for my senior thesis, I designed a building system that has the ability to convert any form of waste into reusable product or convert it into energy. And from that, I developed this company. When you think ink, think innovation, think nature, think knowledge. The innovation portion of the company is a R&D lab for sustainable concepts I plan to create. The nature portion is my current recycling company I have now, and the knowledge is a school I plan to create in. When I originally started this company, I was collecting electronic waste and figure out a process of what can we do with this electronic waste, and that's what gave birth to the concept of zero waste recycling. Next slide. Now, as of now, America produces about 200 million tons of waste annually, and of that 200 million tons, about 55% of it is actually processed, but the remainder of the actual material goes to all the landfills, and where it just sits and decomposes. That causes environmental hazards such as leaching, such as toxic air pollution, soil contamination, various other problems, including cancer and many other, unspoken illnesses. Next slide. All right. As of now, what I've developed is a program where any rural community can become self-sustaining and green, from cradle to grave, where we develop a program where we take a landfill, we go in, we can reclaim a landfill, and then from there develop a community drop-off stations, and then a community collection program. And then from there, the goal is to develop a state-of-the-art recycling facility there on that reclaimed landfill. As of now, the waste industry is very large and very profitable. It's a $1.2 trillion industry annually. That's every single year. This much waste is being processed, and this amount of money can be made from it. What I've developed is a program to actually maximize the profit from this by developing a waste stream system that allows you to take this waste material, then separate it, but then develop other waste streams from it. As of now, my current competition, the slide's a little crazy, but as of where I am in competition, there is no competition. Where I'm at, I see the current waste handlers as customers. With my concept, they would no longer be dumping, hauling, they would resort to me and resort to my facilities. Basically, they'll be paying me to empty their trash. As of now, we are a closed full system from cradle to grave, design, process, enhance, maintain. So we can go into any community, any school, any location and develop a program from start to finish. Or we can go in and improve a program, or we can come in and help you maintain and find out the best way to handle your program. The business model is basically from the customers. Basically, we have sites where the customer drops them off, we then pick them up, materials in process, and then we sell that material to the main manufacturer, and also saves them costs in their initial acquiring of raw material. So the whole concept is to be sustainable, but use the maximum for the least amount of money. And these are current advisors and people who've assisted me along the way. The next one. And the financial projections. As of now, it's going to cost about $1.5 million. That's building, machinery, and then initial equipment, but there's a return on investment within 3 years. So it's viable, but the initial concept and the initial barrier entry of this program is the education process itself. A lot of people understand and think they understand what zero waste and recycling is until they dig into, the nitty-gritty of it and realize there's much more to it. There's financial benefits that are out the roof, but the initial investment is the biggest barrier of entry. Why not? Why not? As long as it's people, there'll always be trash. It's a renewable resource that people don't even look at as a renewable resource. There's trash everywhere, and there's some countries that are just throwing trash on the floor, on the ground, everywhere, in just everyday life. My concept solves the problem, and the goal is to, once you start here, take it global and spread the idea. Thank you. Any questions? Questions?
Once the waste is being recycled, is it any idea of what that product, what the waste will be for the next product?
Mm-hmm. Let's take, for instance, plastic. Say we collect plastic bottles, we sort them by color, by type of plastic, and then we send them through a processing machine, let them shred them, shred the plastic to a smaller scale, and then you would wash them. Then it would then be dried and then baled. And then you have pretty much fresh plastic to reconstitute into whatever product you want.
Have you presented this to the environmental science department?
I'm an environmental science major, concentration in in waste management, but mainly hazardous waste too.
And they,
Yeah, they're moving slow. I've been working on this for a little while.
all right.
Yeah. Testing as regarding this. What I've done is I've done the research and found the research. I'm actually in school now to validate my theory, and as of now, it's concrete. There's actually a model, a mathematical model that breaks down all landfills depending on their age, and it can tell you how much waste is in there, what the waste is, and what type of material you can get off it and the benefit from it. So it's very lucrative if approached and organized properly in the right way.
So what's it going to take for you to go commercial? What's it going to take for you to get this in the market?
The biggest barrier to entry is financial. The machinery is so expensive. The initial, for the actual shredder I want for the large scale production itself is it's 1.6 million by itself, just for the shredder. So the machinery is very large and cumbersome and expensive. So that's the biggest issue. Thank you.
Is that everybody? Is there anybody I'm missing?
The one video.
At the end?
And then the Windows Media Player video. The Prego.
Display?
Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Brian Kennedy, CEO of Prego Incorporated and inventor of the Prego Light. For those who are asking, what is the Prego Light? The Prego Light is a magnetic strobe light that mounts to the roof of any vehicle to alert ongoing traffic that it's a woman in need of medical attention due to her delivering her baby or having a premature situation. For safety precaution, all drivers using the Prego Light must abide by all state laws in order to protect the Prego user and surrounding motorists. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the informational video and gained a thorough understanding of this product. I'm asking for $120,000 in return for 10% equity. With that being said, thank you and enjoy the video.
And then go to Windows. This is a continuation of
Are you a pregnant lady who is afraid of what may happen when stepping outside your home in traffic because your water could break any time? Have you ever wondered how easy it would be for all the pregnant ladies outside home to get instant help right on time? Congratulations! Prego Light has made it now possible for all of the pregnant ladies to go outside home whenever you want without any fear of getting caught in traffic or any other trouble. In case of an emergency, the Prego Light can simply be activated by its easy switch and will safely mount to any vehicle with its safe patent-pending magnetic mount features. The U.S. alone have Prego emergencies occurring between 3,000 to 4,000 times annually, making this product an excellent choice for due date safety precautions. The Prego Light also serves as an unforgettable baby shower gift to loved expecting mother. The Prego Light will aid mothers driving alone with their partner or if she's unable to operate the vehicle. The Prego light will unmistakably alert other motorists to an expectant mother's emergency and will draw attention from ambulance, firefighters, and law enforcement. If you are without a ride, you can also simply by turning on your GPS on Prego Alert app. The app alerts everyone in the Prego support group to ensure mother safety the entire 9-month pregnancy. Prego mothers can save themselves a lot of time with the Prego Alert now. Get your app ASAP at Google Play and App Store.
How's everybody doing? Y'all enjoy that? Okay. How y'all doing? I'm Brian Kennedy, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm the CEO of Prego Incorporated and the inventor of the Prego Light. I've had this ongoing process for about 3-4 years now. Been a lot of dedication, and you know how it goes. As far as manufacturing goes, I'm still in the prototype phase. Well, actually, the prototype's completed. I'm now, you know, taking it, you know, public and letting people get a glimpse of it to gain funding. Currently, I'm looking at about $120,000 for packaging and manufacturing. Eventually, my dream would be to have a manufacturer here in my hometown of Tuskegee, Alabama. You know, that's the goal. But you know, right now it's a seed and it's growing. So are there any questions that anybody has for me? Was the video pretty thorough, explaining of what it does?
So, like, when there's an emergency,
Right.
the lady is going in labor or whatnot, she presses on the app that is happening?
No. The app and the light are two separate. If she goes into labor, the light has a switch on it. You can place it on the roof, whether she's by herself or with her partner. As far as the app, that's if she doesn't have a ride. If you activate the app, it'll give a GPS location where she is, and it'll contact whoever is in the group as far as the Prego group. So it's the Prego light and then the Prego alert. Yes, sir.
Just maybe an idea to help grow it, tying it to Uber or Lyft or something.
Yeah, that is eventually one thing that I'm, you know, looking to branch off into. Right now it's just about me just getting it out there first.
Or create your own service.
Hey, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. At the moment, also I haven't released this as well, but as far as going on Facebook, I have a page that I haven't released to the public yet, and it has like a lot of videos and you know, situations of women that actually had babies in cars or had to, you know, drive reckless in traffic, you know, got pulled over. I have one video on there where the husband actually got arrested. You know, the police officer didn't really want to hear what he had to say, so he was like, hey, it doesn't matter, you know, but they end up delivering the baby actually on, you know, where they got pulled over at. So, yeah, like I say, as far as taxi cabs go, that is something that I would definitely like to implement or integrate in the near future. But right now, it's just all about that manufacturing right now.
Have you done a prototype?
Ma'am?
Have you done a prototype?
Yes, if you play the video back, the prototype is actually in like Kansas right at the moment. I'm paying on that like a car note. Yeah, so so that's I'm a couple of grand away from that, getting that in my actual possession along with the packaging. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am? No, not at the moment. At the moment, I just wanted to focus on pregnancy. Again, on the video, these particular Prego emergencies, they occur like 3,000 to 4,000 times a year all around the country. That's just in the U.S. Another statistic, we do average about 3 to 4 million pregnancies a year only in the U.S. So this is something I would want to branch out internationally with one day. You know, but right now it's just all about, you know, focus on domestically and then, you know, spreading it out.
But my question was, are there other applications Right.
Instead of just driving across that flag out the window.
Right, and you can't.
Other ways for you to earn money.
Oh, well, I have thought about that, you know, as far as like other situations, you know, like elderly, you know, but at the moment, I was more focused on, again, the kind of the pregnant phase. I feel like once I get this going, I can kind of add on to it. In the patent that I do have some features that, you know, I'm not going to speak about right now, but it is, I get what you're saying, but as far as like any other situations like elderly or whatnot, I haven't branched off into that yet, but I do have some features that are kind of similar to that in my patent. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any legalities related to having the actual siren in the car?
That's a good question. I actually paid for a certification. It's the SAE, Standard Automotive Engineer. What this is basically, I basically bought the rights to manufacture a pink strobe light. See, we only, right now we have yellow lights, that's for construction. You know, blue lights are for police officers. Red lights are, you know, ambulance, firefighters. So each color in traffic is made for a specific situation. So what I did was look up some standards, and I basically purchased the rights to manufacture a pink strobe light. So what you all just saw was the first magnetic pink strobe light ever made. Any other questions? So, no? Okay, I appreciate that. Appreciate the opportunity. I just shot down here from Montgomery. Got off work. That's why I'm sweating bullets. But I appreciate you all. Appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for the opportunity. All right.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today. I'm actually going to bring up Dr. Jefferson, who is the Enactus advisor, to say some words.
I have a presentation, I don't have a PowerPoint, but you can consider the idea that I think fundamental for this occasion, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have to judge me. This is. Oh, you just want to get the word out. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kirkland Edmond. I'm a 2012 alumnus of Tuskegee University. I got my degree in construction science and management from Mother Tuskegee, and I currently live in Atlanta. I work for Habitat for Humanity, but that's not why I'm here. A group of my friends, or slash cohorts, whatever you want to call us at this rate, there is actually a strong group of Tuskegee alumni within the group as well. We're starting a science and social club, and we're making it a club to limit the exclusivity of people of color. On the science part is basically becoming the trusted entity for people of color to track their genetic ancestry, and on the social part, through our network and the app we're developing for our club, being able to generate accountability partners for people who want to go into entrepreneurship or looking for some type of investment group to join or to promote their ideas, and also people who want to put on some type of project or whatnot to enhance the quality of life for people of color. So the idea was actually, the visionary, he's an alumni of Tuskegee. His part was the science part. Mine was the app. So the app is actually the brainchild of two apps I was, you could say, in the process of developing. Through the app, the app, you can download the app, but you have to be a member to have access to the app. So even if you think what we do as a organization is a good idea. You can invest generally, but as a member, you will be able to promote the projects you're trying to put on and promote the scopes of work, and members are able to invest down to the line items and the resources needed for the ideas to come to manifestation. So the name of our club is the AGES. It's an acronym for the African Genetic Engineering Society. So we're a club, but moreover, a society of social entrepreneurs and scientists. So our whole initiative is to become the authority and the lead in the advancement of people of color. So that is us.
That's all of the 4 people seated at this front table. But my students tease me about, oh, you get too excited and you're too tense every time we get ready. And every time they deliver and far exceed anything I expected. So I'd like to thank the enactors group, and I certainly would like to thank the presenters that were here. I think we should give them all a big hand. We would like to give the judges about 5 minutes in order to come up with the top 3, because we'd like to make our awards today and be done and talk with the winners thereafter. So if we'll give them 5 minutes to come to a decision, we will announce the top 3. Okay?
Without further delay, I would like to present the top 3 contestants, and I would like to request that if you're selected, you just stand by the side and we'll discuss with you after the next steps. So 3rd place is Heirloom by Heirloom Burial. Congratulations, man. If you go to the side. So 2nd place is Think Inc. And 1st place is Alterations by Jet. And one thing I would like to request to all the contestants is that if you get either my details, Philip Grayson's details, or Dr. Jefferson's details, we do work with all of the projects that we come across. So this is our competition, but then we enter other competitions with businesses. So thank you for everybody that came, and we hope to do this again soon.
Oh, were you taking a picture?